Yeah, saving the world is great and all, but what about the treasure? All players, no matter how righteous they are and how much they want to save the world, everyone appreciates a good pile of loot. So today we're going to be using some really simple materials to make small treasure piles that you can scatter around your dungeon and use as treasure markers to give to your players. So let's head over to the bench and get started. For the markers themselves, I'm using clear acrylic bases. I chose these bases because they will let a little bit of light through the sides to make the treasure sparkle more. For the treasure itself, I'm using a selection of glitter I got from the Works here in the UK. Any glitter will work so long as the individual particles are small enough not to look out of place. I also picked up some of these adhesive gemstones to break up the glitter and make it look more like a hoard of different treasures and not just coins. To make these markers, I first covered the top surface of the base in a layer of PVA glue. I then stuck down my gemstones before sprinkling on the glitter. You can go for solid colours here, but I found that a mixture of different colours made the bases look more interesting. You can see that on the first two bases I used gold and silver, but on the third I added in some red glitter. You could even incorporate these red coins into your story somehow. With the bases complete, I wanted to make a treasure room dungeon tile. I started by making a tile in the same way as I do in this tutorial video, which there is a link for in the card. And then I applied some filler to one corner to make the ground uneven and give the appearance that there was treasure piled up there. Once the filler was dry, I sealed the foam using matte Mod Podge mixed with black acrylic and painted the tile as I've done with all the others, applying several layers of dry brushing, working from dark grey all the way up to white. Once the paint was completely dry, I applied a black wash all over to bring the colours together. To make the treasure pile, I followed the same steps as I did for making the bases, starting with a coat of PVA glue, then sticking the gemstones in place. For the coins, I decided to properly mix the glitter, so I poured some gold into my hand, and then I poured some silver into my hand, which turned out to be too much, so I had to return some to the pot, and then I mixed these together before sprinkling them onto the tile. And here you can see the end result. It's a really simple technique that your players are going to love. Describing a room filled with gold, it's all well and good, but if your players can see the sparkle from the thousands of coins within, it'll be much more real for them. And there you have it. You can see that we can use some really cheap and simple materials to make great looking treasure piles that will be right at home in any dungeon. Don't forget to give the video a like if you liked it, and if you have any suggestions for future tutorials, leave them in the comments below. If you're new to the channel, welcome. We release new content every single Friday, and you can subscribe by clicking right here. And if you want to keep watching, you can see last week's video right here. And until next time, happy gaming.